Oh, hi. Welcome to the Bimbofication of hot mics. Right now, we are bimbifying right now, a bimbofication, bimbofication. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is a term I've never heard. And now it's all I can say. And is it bimbofication? Is it bimbofication? How do you bimbify? Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot of action here. Kristi Noem's husband, Bryon, B-R-Y-O-N, Bryon, it was reported yesterday. Literally, I looked at this thing when it came out. I said, this can't be real. There's just no way that this is real. That he likes to, slide into these chat rooms and these sites and mingle. Look, I don't think Kristi's on the defensive at home anymore. I mean, we all thought she was in a lot of trouble. She was grilled by the Senate Judiciary Committee over her alleged affair with Corey Lewandowski. Here's a little reminder of what they did to her.
So what I would say
and
to
you should be able to
is
answer
that
the
what we do at the Department of Homeland Security every single
and without
day,
any hesitation,
every single day is to protect
if
this
someone
country
is
and
asking
to make
if
decisions.
you or any federal official is sleeping with their subordinate. That should be the easiest. You should be wanting to answer that question.
Is garbage?
Because it is.
I want to give you an opportunity to answer on the record to Ms. Camlager-Dove's question. I know you said it's garbage, and it may be, but I really think you need to say the word no into the record so that you can clear that up.
I think the ridiculousness of this and the tabloids that you are quoting and referencing are insane. And this has been
So that's a no?
something that I've refuted
Oh, wow.
for years, and I continue
There's
to
a
do
woman.
that.
So it's a
what
no.
I would tell you is
We
when
can
you
move
She's
on.
getting
Hold on,
hammered by the Senate Judiciary Committee over her alleged affair with Corey Lewandowski. She's like, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. Forget about this. Do you know what Brian's doing at home? He's upstairs in the attic. He's in the basement. And there's a guy that doesn't seem to give a shit behind her while she's testifying because he can't wait to get back to the hotel and get on that Wi-Fi and bimbify. Now, I don't understand if he is into women with giant breastplates and great. I think he's probably into women but he's also into doing it himself. I just don't understand if this is his fetish for what he turns him on from women, or if he wants, he gets off doing it as becoming one himself. So her response to allegations that her husband, Bryon, lives a cross-dressing double life and chats online with fetish models is a head-scratcher. She said, Ms. Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at the time. What? You were blindsided? But how do you keep this? These are childhood sweethearts. Look at him. Oh, that's his rear right there. These are childhood sweethearts. They've been together since they were like 17 years old. They have grandchildren together. The Daily Mail reported that Bryon likes to chat up the women from the bimbofication fetish scene. Adult performers, augmented to the max, massive cartoon boobs. Apparently hundreds of messages were sent by 3 women that included Kristi's husband enthusiastically praising their gigantic boobs, saying, I love huge, huge, ridiculous boobs. That's a quote. It's unbelievable. What do you think? What do you think of all this? Does anybody want to defend this guy? Can I take an attempt to defend this guy? I'm going to say something. He's passionate about bimbifying. He likes to wear that weird stuff. I mean, Caitlyn, used to dress up at 2 o'clock in the morning when Kris Jenner went to sleep and all the girls were asleep. He was repressed with this thing that was living in him. And Bruce would get up in the middle of the night and he'd go into that walk-in closet and he would slide himself into a Vivienne Westwood, into a light little Valentino, and he would walk around the house at night and he would feel it. He would feel alive. And that's our boy Bryon.
Hey, Billy.
Am I going too far?
Do you feel alive here? How's that?
Oh, wow. We needed to pull that up, huh? Wow. Somebody had access to my camera roll. Oh, no, that's not a bimbofication. That is a horror in it. That's me. That's me cross-dressed right there. And it is, you know what happened is RuPaul's drag team came over to Access Hollywood one day. Look at the calves, though. Can you just take your eyes off that horrendous face and then the tank of a body. But look at the calves. Look at the calves on that sweet girl. If that's all you saw.
Billy,
I love to cross-dress. I'm going to say it right now. I love it. It's fun.
At Access, you did request, what was the outfit for Halloween? How about I dress up as...
I got an idea. Let's have Kit be Danny, and I'll be Sandy. And it'll be fun because we'll reverse it and everyone will get a bigger laugh. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I often volunteered. You know what? I got to say this. I once used bimbofication. I bimbofied myself in a major moment in my career to close a sales deal. Okay? Bella Kim is in the comment section. Bill is up front about his feminine side. That's why we don't blink an eye. All right? See if you can blink an eye at this. My first job out of college was at a radio station in Lake Winnipesaukee, New Hampshire. I worked for WLKZ Oldies 105, and I just wanted to be on the air because I was just bitten by the radio bug, and I just spent the last semester on the college radio station having fun. So I get this job, but the guy's like, "Look, you seem to have a pretty good, decent personality here, and you could be. I really need help selling advertising on the station. We need to sell some commercials to, would you mind doing that? And I really think you could be great." And I said, okay, I'll help out. And he goes, "And we'll let you be on the air at night a couple times a week." I said, okay. So I learned to sell advertising, and I drove all over the Lakes region of New Hampshire. And it's a humbling experience. You get your teeth kicked in doing this. You're going into True Value hardware store, and they just slam the door. I mean, convincing people they need air. You're selling air. But I found my groove getting people to do their own commercials because I found that they like hearing their own voice on the radio, like the Crazy Mattress Guy or something. But the biggest advertiser in the Lakes region was Tilton Ford and Plymouth Auto Village, two giant auto dealerships owned by the same people. And they advertised, let's say there were 8 radio stations that touched the Lakes region. They advertised on 7 of them. The only one they didn't advertise on was our station. And nobody could crack the code. So finally, I go up there. This guy throws me out. There was a little guy. Let's call him Tom. Little Tom. I'm going to change his name because he may be alive and he's a horrible guy. But Tom was the general sales manager of Plymouth Auto Village. He was a pugnacious little runt of a man. And he just rude as hell. I'd come in and go, "Hi. Hey, Tom, Billy Bush here from WLKZ Oldies 105. Just wondering if I could..." "Hey, Tom, come up a week later." And my boss kept telling, I said, "Listen, this is humiliating. This man treats me like I'm a second-class citizen." He says, "You got to keep going. That's the thing about sales, Billy boy. You get right back in there." So I keep going to see Tom. And finally, I'm like, I just need to figure out what's going on. I get alone. I say, "Tom, I will never come back. I promise you, I'll never come back here if you will just explain to me one thing. Why is it that you advertise on every radio station in Lakes region and not ours? What am I doing wrong?" He said, "Well, for starters, if you had a set of big ones, we might be able to open a conversation." I go, "Oh my God. He's a little misogynist, little troll, then all the salespeople that are the other 7 stations are sending, Boobs McGee up here to close the deal." And I'm like, okay. But right on key, I say to him, "You know what? It's so funny you say that, Tom. And I should have thought that we do a exchange program, a summer radio exchange program with a wonderful radio station in Sweden. And we happen to have a new sales girl who's with us for the summer named Helga. Perhaps I should send her up here." He goes, "Now that would be a start." I figure it out. I go home and Have a good weekend. And on Monday, I borrow from the midday girl, Lori Green, who was doing the midday shift. I said, listen, I need some things. I need a skirt. I need a few things. I bimbify. I get a button-down shirt. I stuff it with massive balloons, lipstick, big blonde wig. I mean, a mini skirt. If you've seen my calves and quads, it's Maradona-esque. I mean, these are thick situation, thicky mouse. And I put all this stuff on. I get into the parking lot. I drive up there on a Monday, and I'm like, you can do this. It's a great sales adage. If you need me to come and speak to your sales department, that you have somewhere, this is people buy differently. Everyone buys differently. This guy buys based on boobs and being, he's a little troll of a man whose wife wouldn't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole. He likes female attention because he never gets any otherwise. Very ugly little fella. I walk into the dealership. As I'm approaching in these giant heels, making my way up to people are looking out the window like, holy shit. I mean, this is New Hampshire. What is that coming our way? Oh, that's horrible. And the word spreads quickly. And I walk in, and there is a busy sales floor, and people are looking at me, and the word spreads quickly to the mechanics who are back in the bays working on cars. They come out to the floor. Everyone comes out. I walk over to little Tommy the salesman's desk. I walk up, and I put my heel up on his desk. Believe me, this was a short skirt, so there might have been other things going on there too. I don't know.
Billy, what are we doing here?
Right in his face. And I say, hello, Mr. Vincent. My name is Helga. I come from the Oldies 105. I'm so happy to see you. Billy Bush sent me up here. Didn't tell me how cute you are. Look at you. And I'm grabbing this guy's cheeks, and he's going, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you out of your mind? Get the hell. Everybody's laughing. They're going crazy. And I take a contract, the biggest contract that our little teeny radio station has ever seen, has ever had the audacity to put in front of somebody. And I slid it right over to him. And he looked at it and said, kid, you have some balls. Literally. And then he signs the contract, hands it to me, and instantly they went from non-advertiser to the biggest advertiser on the radio station. And why? Bimbofication. That's called, from now on, the Bimbofication close. And it's a Hail Mary of a close. If you're in the sales field and nothing else is going your way,
I'm not sure we had
Bimbify.
that. I'm not sure we had that word then. So you were that far ahead of your time.
I was that far ahead of my time. Bimbofy. But you know what? Bryon Noem, Kristi's husband. I don't know what you're dealing with in there, guy. I don't know what there's a lion trapped in a cage inside of you, baby. And I know you're just feeling like, oh, this is what it's roaring in me. It's not evil. It's not hurting anybody. It's probably ashamed of the whole thing. His kids, man, they got kids in their 20s. They're just got to be like, Dad, this is so weird. But I think he got to a place, this is reckless behavior. I think he wanted to get caught. I don't know why he chose such a public avenue, but I think he wanted to get caught. I don't think he's upset about being caught right now. It's, can he keep the family together? Can Kristi bimbify for him? Or is he the one that's going to be bimbifying in the relationship? It's going to test Kristi, but it's also a great thing for Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem, her stock was down, really down, and deservedly so. Calling Alex Preddy a domestic terrorist and all this. I mean, she was a maniac and way unqualified for the job she had and the budget she controlled. Absolute disgrace of a Homeland Security secretary. But boy, did she get an uptick in the stock market of the cabinet, the people, the government official stock market? Is she up a little bit today because she's got bimbofication going on at home? We feel for that woman a little bit. I'm going to say it. Lawson, is Bryon Noem being referred to as bimbofied rather than trans because he's married to a MAGA Republican? Ah, interesting comment. He's not trans. I don't think there's no plumbing change going on in there. Although, give me the hot pants thing again. You can usually tell what somebody's smuggling when they're wearing hot pants, when they're wearing bike shorts, right? Are we? I don't know. It seems sort of flat across the. I see a little indentation at the bottom there, so I think he's probably. I don't know. But anyway, I tried to defend Bryon. I hope they work it out. And we're with you, Guy. Yeah, no plumbing change, says Karen. No plumbing change.
Billy, do you think that anybody knew, and during the Trump administration or anything going on in the trial or in any of that stuff, do you think this was out there?
Oh, you mean like did Trump get ahead of this and say, I got to get rid of her before this bimbofication? If that's what it took him, by the way, he is if a man could be bimbofied without any of those plates, I mean, Trump's boobs aren't much smaller than the ones that Bryon is wearing there right there. But, he is the bimbo, a man who has loved bimbos his whole life. I mean, he's a bimbo artist. I don't think that. I think that would be, he won't like the fact that it's coming from him, but no. If we got to think that it's got to do with calling an innocent man a domestic terrorist and not the bimbofication thing. Want to say something before we're gonna press on from that. I hate to change topics because I've never had a chance to talk about this kind of thing. Bimbofication, I'm gonna say it again. Favorite topic. Didn't know we were gonna start here today.
We might have to start having shots every time we say bimbofied. Yeah,
no, bimbofy is something that we. By the way, I spent a lot of time in a subreddit this morning, like, okay, trying to understand this from a. And it says, not safe for work. And I'm like, here I go. I don't care. Is this going to track my cookies are going to be, figured out? Am I going to be getting this shit for the rest of my life? I go in there and it's a real thing, man.